What's happening, everybody, and welcome back. I got my hair cut, no more long hair, so there's that. And also, we've got a total hoopty piece of junk S10 here. This is a 1989. It's got the 4-cylinder 2.5 liter Iron Duke. It's got a 5-speed manual. It's got no keys. It's got no title. It's been abandoned for I have no idea how long. It's full of rust. It's falling apart literally as we speak. And we're going to see if we can get it running. So this is it. I don't really know why I got it other than the nostalgia of having a black 89 S10 just like what I had when I was in high school. So it smells just as bad as you would think by looking at it. It's probably full of mice. There's a yellow jacket in there. That's great. Headliner's toast. Again, the column is smoked. Oh, the column is locked. Oh, it's got a Firebird on it. Look at that. Sweet. It's practically a race truck. No keys, so I can't turn the column. It's locked up. It's super rusty. None of the wheels match, I don't think. Maybe the front two rallies are on there. I pushed it with the tractor today and busted the bumper off the frame. If you look down here on the tag, you can't even tell what year it was last plated. It's in rough shape. Moving into the back here, we got a bunch of random carry-out stuff. Giant logs. I can't even imagine how much those things weigh. It's going to be fun getting those out. Oh, I see a Stussy sticker. Stussy, right? Back there. A little throwback to the 90s. Oh, and then check this out. No fear. That's right. This thing was all decked out in 90s goodness. No fear, Stussy, we're all set. Anyway, this thing is a wreck. It is horrible, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can get it running. Like I said, mainly because of the nostalgia of me having this truck at one point, or one like it. And also, it's not bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's all complete. Everything seems like it'll be all right, I guess. The neighbor that bought the property, he did pick this thing up and deliver it with a skid steer. So that probably means that the drive shaft is tacoed, and that's totally junk. I managed to get some air in that tire and then the left front. The other one's not so much. My tractor won't pick this thing up, so I can't really get it in the air. Being that the column is locked, it makes it difficult to move it around. I'm gonna kind of gear up in the hazmat stuff, and we'll clean out this interior because garbage is tomorrow. I did bust the tail light out of it when I was trying to move with the tractor. That's unfortunate. It does have the factory spare, the temporary donut. This door doesn't open. It might be because it's locked from the inside or that latch is broke. Do remember that these, oh man, it's got some sweet aftermarket mirrors on it. Check those out. Sweet racing mirrors. You know, too bad the windshield is busted, but yeah, I don't know. This was from some type of Unitel business telephone systems. Yeah, got a bird's nest up in there. Hopefully this isn't the body mount, but it probably is. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, that's what I was trying to fix, but my tractor won't pick this up enough to get that thing on the bead. As far as that door opening, the lock might just be forward on it. These things, forward lock, back unlocked. So we'll see if I can get that door open. It is disgusting in here. So I'm gonna put you up on a tripod, hazmat up, and we're gonna clean this thing out. Well, let's see if we can unlock it. Hey, look at that. I don't think you're going to be able to hear me very good, but I'd rather not get hantavirus. Well, the mouse infestation is pretty severe in it. Got this window stripping, this, I could probably wash this rag, right? Let's use that. I don't do very many will it runs. Really, I don't do any will it runs. Man, this is from Murray's. Remember that? I think O'Reilly's is Murray's. Probably not a great sign. Uh-oh. That's a push rod. Or at least it used to be a push rod. Hopefully it doesn't go to this thing. That would suck. Oh, somebody had their stash of socks in here. That's kind of disturbing. It's in the glove box. Some hot paws for all the mice. They had nice warm paws in there. What the heck? Ew. What is this thing? What is this? Why is it stuck to the seat? Oh man. There's actually a decent amount of change in there, believe it or not.
There's got to be at least $7 worth of change here.
Alright, I don't think that we're going to find anything super interesting inside this truck. It's just been basically garbage so far. So I'm going to knock out this other side. I'll get back to you afterwards. Alright, well, everything is mostly out of it. I didn't vacuum it. Took 3 garbage bags basically. I found a roll of garbage bags in the back, so I did actually get to use one of whoever the previous owner's crappy super thin garbage bags. I mean, I didn't find it really any mice, so the truck's bad enough that even mice wouldn't even live in it anymore, so it's pretty rough. We'll get cracking on it pretty soon. I have the tool to pull the ignition cylinder out, so at least we'll be able to steer it around and stuff. I know right away that the clutch master, our clutch slave cylinder rather, is destroyed, so as soon as I touched it, it popped. So no clutch. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do with all of that stuff, but it is in neutral, so maybe we don't even have to use the clutch. If it even runs, we'll find out later on. With all of the brake fluid and oil and every other type of fluid stuff that was in every nook and cranny of that truck, either it's got major problems or the guy was like a super hardcore worrier. I don't know if that has to do with like the whole hoarder mentality or not. It's just keeping everything, but there was like 4 or 5 quarts of oil in that truck. So I guess we'll find out once we get into it more. All right, well, it's been several days. I've got the pressure washer out, a gallon of bleach, my leaf blower, because I don't actually have a vacuum anymore that works. So if you know of a good shop vac for a reasonable price, let me know down in the comments below, because mine's toast. But we're going to use the leaf blower, blow out all the crud inside, hose it down with some bleach, let it sit for a bit, power wash it, and then hopefully that'll keep us from dying of hantavirus or whatever's inside that truck, because it doesn't smell good. All right, bummer I didn't have a vacuum because we have all this junk, but bro had a fascination with socks for sure. There's just socks and gloves. They were everywhere in there. Underside of the seat is still filled with like gross mice and whatnot. So we're going to take the bleach. I'm going to put it in the little, you know, whatever soap receptacle down there, do like a low pressure soak on it, and then we'll go from there. All right, well, it says soap. I think it had Simple Green in it before, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And hopefully that's enough. I don't know. We'll refill as needed. And we're out of bleach again already. I think this will have to be enough. Okay, now that we've degrossified the truck a little bit, it's actually manageable to work on it. So it doesn't smell like a bunch of dead animals inside. It's not too bad. So yeah, smell is way better. It's not anywhere near perfect, but we're not looking for perfect. Column is locked, so I do have to take this column apart and I don't know, I guess I could break it, but why break the column? I need to be able to turn the key on and start it and all of that stuff, or try to. So smells way better than in here than it used to. Looks all right. I'm gonna let it air dry under the hood here. You know, it's pretty complete. I don't see anything really wrong other than just some random broken wires. Got some, you know, stuff chewed off by mice and whatnot, so we'll figure all that stuff out later. All right, hopefully you don't bounce around too much. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, well, I guess that can just fall off in our hands. Kind of cool though. Little Firebird horn button. Oh, all right. All right, we got us a puller. Hopefully it'll fit in here. I don't know if it will or not. All right, I think that's good enough. Obviously someone's been in here before because this steering wheel is aftermarket and it's pretty mangled up in there. But we should be able to get it off. Yeah, there we go. Hey, nice. All right. So, yeah, all right, cool. All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, we can move on to pulling this column apart. This thing's mangled up. This thing's been all mangled up around the edge. So I'm going to go get a grinder and just grind that off a little bit, because these like little aluminum cups here, it wouldn't take a whole lot to destroy the threads on this. But you can see it's all like pushed over. So I don't know. So let me go ahead and grind this down a little tiny bit, expose some fresh threads. We'll put our puller on and get the wheel, or get the column apart. All right, well, now that our adapter works, go ahead and put all this stuff on. Now, if you've never used one of these things, this compresses this ring, which is on a spring, and that there's a little circular lock ring right in here. I'll show you in a minute. That locks it all together. So we start compressing it. See that moving down? Yep, and it opens up, you know, pushes this thing down, get you a little bit of access to the lock ring that's right there. So you just got to fish it out using some picks. It's kind of a two-hand job, and you're in one of my hands. So let me get this thing off. If you can get your screwdriver behind it and then spin the lock ring around, you can pry it out. It's pretty easy that way. There we are. You either have to buy or make one of these tools. There's really no other way to do it easily. They're pretty cheap though at the auto parts store. I think this was like 12 bucks. And there's that lock ring. If you work on an early Jeep Cherokee like my XJ, it's the same column inside. So maybe I won't give this column away. Save it for the Cherokee. All this turn signal stuff and all that, even the stock, it's all identical to what's in my XJ because someone swapped it out for an early column to get rid of the skim unit, that secure key deal. The lock pin that locks this cylinder in is right behind this unit, right essentially where this button is. So that's why we got to take all this stuff out. There we go. Perfect. Oh, damn. All right, looks like maybe a 7/16 button, whatever you want to call it. All right, so now that those three screws come out, you got the ring off. You can see kind of the mechanism that you got going on here. That one little arm that I took off right here is what allows your stalk to actuate this entire plastic unit and control your turn signals. And then right there, that bolt right back in there is what holds the lock cylinder into the column. So we got to get that thing out. All right, 5/16. What did I say? 7/16? A little bit off. Just did this job on my Cherokee, but my Cherokee is just a little bit different. My Cherokee doesn't have this specific pin threaded on the top, screws into the column. Mine has a different lock that it's got like a little tiny spring-loaded cutout thing on the side, but it's on this side. It fits into a locking tab in the column, so a little bit different. But now that we've got this thing out, O'Reilly's finest $12 key cylinder, 2-1 Lima Charlie 138, and that's it. So had like a little spring deal on there that keeps falling off, but this pin slides into that, and that's what holds the lock cylinder in place. There's that little spring that keeps falling out. Well, dang, finally got it. Thought that this thing came out further than that, but whatever. Maybe it doesn't. Key works. There we go. You turn it on. Ignition works. I don't know if you can even see. That is the position that's in, straight up and down. So this thing slides right in. Again, the key, put the key in. There we go. We've got on, we've got off, we've got accessory or whatever on, and then that's it. So this little nubbins right there, put this right into there, like yeah. On, in, bada boom, bada bing. So there we go, lock cylinder in. Repeat the whole process. I've already forgotten it. Really, there's only three screws. Yeah, I remember now. So this, if I'm not mistaken, this thing connects to that, which then allows power to go to your horn through this little tiny button here. So as you turn the wheel, you still have your horn. Power washing with bleach made all the difference in here. It's actually tolerable to sit in it. Perfect. Okay, we're done. All right, let's see what we got going on in here. I'm pretty sure the fuel lines are all in the back on this. I'm just going to run it off of a jug. The mice were in there. Little heat riser. All right. Well, full of mice. So glad we got that off. All right. I don't know. Can you see? Probably not the best willet runner. I usually don't do this type of stuff. But anyway, let's see what we got going on. Got the throttle contraption here. It works. That's nice. So here's our fuel inlet and outlet. I guess I was wrong. It's on the front. We get some compressed air. A little bit of lube on our fuel lines. And there, why not? A little bit everywhere. That'll help. I think these are all metric. So I'm going to grab some wrenches. Actually having a real line wrench. Wait a minute, why am I even taking these off? We're not running these fuel lines. Nah, we're not running these fuel lines. We're cutting these things. Yeah, who knows what I could have broken doing this when I don't need to, because we're not gonna use these fuel lines or going back to the tank. So it looks like we've got our return. It's always a small one. We've got our inlet right there. Comes around, goes around town, underneath, over into the back. Looks like it comes around to a fuel filter, and then down and out, and it looks like we've got our fuel lines here. It is kind of weird. I guess they go into the frame rail and back under here. So I don't know. So it looks like we've got our fuel hoses here. That's the only thing I could think of. Is top one is the return. The fuel filter side is obviously the inlet. So unless the fuel filter is totally jammed full of crap, which is entirely possible, we can just cut these rubber lines right here, stick some actual fuel line on it, some steel hose or line. Then we come into here and search for an unknown amount of time for the fuel pump that I bought for it, and hope we find that. What do you think the odds are that this O2 sensor works? These fuel lines felt like they were pretty new, or pretty good, rather. They're not all gross. Sorry about that. All right, let's just see how this thing fits. It's gonna fit fine. Gotta straighten all this stuff out though. All right, I kind of changed my mind a little bit. That's got that big old fuel filter over there. Has me worried that it's full of a bunch of rust and junk. So we're going to take this line off, blow some air through it, just make sure that we've got, I don't know, something clear. I don't want to send a bunch of the filter element debris just blasting right into this throttle body. So, but then again, we have no idea when this was last on the road, so we don't know when it ran. That might be the original fuel filter of this truck. Who knows? I mean, 127,000 miles? When was the last time that you changed a fuel filter on your car? Probably is the original one. Well, there we go. Oh, it's got an O-ring and everything on that. Well, whatever. So we're going to take a look down here and see what comes out from this bottom line. I think what we'll do though is spray some acetone down in here. Keep an eye down there and see what you see. I mean, it's open, so that's a good thing. Seems like a little bit of rusty crusties came out of there, but not too bad. Mosquitoes are fierce this year. Insane. I do have one of the correct fittings on here. Clamps. I'm pretty sure this clamp's going to leak. This isn't the right size hose for this, or line. rather. Yeah, this isn't going to work. This clamp's a piece of junk. I hate these style clamps. Look at that, it doesn't even tighten up. It's all crunchy, it's terrible. Alright, we're going to try this. See if we can make up some room. It's not permanent. I'm just going to see if this thing even runs. It's pretty good. Yeah, this will do it. This will work. That should do it. Now I just have to lengthen this pigtail. All right, well, we're going to use the pub mix. I think this will work out for us. As a gas tank, so stick her right down in there. Right down in here. Run our lines into it. And I think that'll be good enough to kind of see how it works. What could go wrong? Got the connections fully legit. Just a couple of wraps on some cheap electrical tape. All right, well, here we go. We're getting close. I'm going to run the return into a separate little container so I can kind of get an idea of what is getting flushed through the system. As for the return, I'll just put it in a little tiny jug somewhere. Just kick the pump on for a second, let it pull fuel through, and we'll just see what gets returned back through the carb or throttle body. Okay, well, we got a gallon jug here. Should be good enough. Hopefully. We're not going to run it right now. We're just going to cycle the fuel pump. So it shouldn't really matter what's going on. So since it won't fire up, you know, we don't care how close any of this stuff is to the exhaust. We're just going to take a look real quick and kind of get an idea of what's going on. So I probably need to get rid of this thing. There we go. There you go. Now you got a better view of all the sketchiness. Let's get some fuel in there. Some fresh 87 octane. New fuel pump. I don't know. We'll see. See how we do. We're either going to have a bunch of leaks. It's going to work great. One of the two. Hey, it's working good. Give you guys a better look. All right, so we're solid. It's putting back a lot of fuel too. So now we will return back into our special tank here. All right, so this is what came out of it. Kind of gross. I mean, I'm glad that we did it this way. There's a bunch of rust and stuff in there. You see the water down there? Looks like a big worm. Anyway, I think we're doing pretty good. We can fire it up. All right, well, our gas tank is set up. I just gotta put some more fuel in it. I don't think anything's gonna really happen. It's nice it's in the corner, it's out of the way. I didn't see any leaks from our fuel lines or anything like that. We didn't have any leaks up in here, so we're good. Negative battery terminal. Little worse for wear, but we're gonna pretend that we didn't see that. We'll connect up positive and negative and see if it immediately catches on fire. If not, I think we're ready to go. I did check the oil in here before, but that was a couple of weeks ago. We'll go take a look at it again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the oil is awesome in this. Let's see. Looks like the dipstick's just hanging out, so... Oh, well, that's great. I don't know, I would assume your dipstick needs to be, you know, actually attached to the engine in some way. Probably a good idea. Yep, we're right on the money. It's right there. That's the full line. Looks great. Looks good. We're good. All right. Let's connect it up to some power and see what happens. All right. See what happens in here. Nothing at all. Weird. Okay. Yep. Test's good. We have no power. Let me investigate a little bit and see what's up. All right, well, let's see what's going on. All right. It looks like we got some crap grounds and stuff, which we kind of expected. So might end up just cutting this all right off. Cut off these terminals. I don't know. These things are totally smoked. So all the threads and everything on these are all stripped out. I don't even know how they got these things to work on a battery. Let's do a little bit of modification here. Was this right in your way, like usual? You can say what you want about GM, love them or hate them, whatever it is, but you have to all admit, these side post terminals were a dumb idea. There we go. God. Well, I'll be sharpening my knife tonight for sure. I'll tell you what, Mortsky doesn't like, you know, headers and you name it, every other thing, but I gotta say, side post terminals are ridiculous. Hey, we got buzzing. No fires. Hey, that's something. That's good, right? Let's see, lights. Yeah, I can see them. I can see the reflection in my truck. Yes, we got lights. Freaking battery. All right. Let's go ahead and find some spark plug wires since our fuel source is right here. And this probably isn't awesome to have hanging out right here. So I'm not even gonna bother checking the plugs because we're just gonna see what happens. Looks pretty complete. So we're just gonna wing it. I think we only need one. The other ones look pretty good. So we're just going to pull off this one, trace it back to wherever it goes, right over. Where does it go? Down there? Okay. Let me see if I got something. All right. Well, I found a spark plug wire in my stash. It's not really quite long enough, but it'll have to do. So let's go ahead and see if it'll crank over with the key. I do have my little remote switch. I want to see if the key will work. There isn't a fuel hooked up right now. Everything should be good. It's probably going to throw this belt off immediately, you know, because it's disgusting and destroyed. But you know what? We're going to roll with it. You guys can watch up here. Nothing. We'll try the universal key. It turns over. I think we're good. shut off. Apparently the buzzer won't stop. I've got us some fire extinguishers in case things go south. The one, that little one, is the one that was inside the truck. So hopefully we don't need to use that. The big one's brand new. Hopefully we don't need it. We're cycling, so that's good. All right, the key's on. Smells like gross gas, so I don't think we have any spark though. We have spark. Okay. It's weak, but we do have spark. Try a little gas down there. This is 2-stroke, 50 to 1. It does run. Yeah, we'll just spill it all over the top of the engine. Now we can use those fire extinguishers. We'll take the distributor off tomorrow, I think. I never checked to see if the mice ate through any of the other spark plug wires. Well, the one that I put on popped off. So that's good. Well, it did fire up, sort of. That's enough for today. It's getting late. I got a bunch of other stuff to do. I forgot to cut the grass today. So now that we know that it does actually fire up-ish, I know, we'll play with it a little bit more when I have some more time. All right, we're going to check out this distributor. Now there's a chewed through wire right there, so I guess that isn't going to help us out. Nah, she ain't going to be starting too good with that. Here's my wire that I just put on, so whatever. Let's see what else we got going on in here. I need to pull this mounting thing off so I can get to this, but I don't really know how these caps snap on. I guess there's quarter turn, whatever they are, flatheads, Phillips heads, whatever. Let's check it out. I got some new used plug wires. So these came off of one of my buddy's like 68 Cadillac or something like that. You can see it's like got overspray on it and whatnot. But I think overall it'll work because, I mean, the car was running when he drove it in to do the tune-up on it. So they're better than our mouse-chewed, thrashed out wires that we've got now. So we'll go ahead and put these on. Where was the mouse-chewed one? Oh, the mouse-chewed one right there. Like all the plug wires are chewed off? No wonder it wouldn't run. Now let's check the plugs while we're here. I think we're gonna have to blow that out. There's mouse nest inside there. Dang, right in the face. I don't think this will hurt anything. Looks basically new. Well, then the lube that I put on it, she's looking good. A little worn, but not bad. We're just gonna go ahead and put that back in. We're gonna see if we can just change the plug wires and get away with that rather than risk breaking the porcelain on any of these and then having to buy new plugs, because they're pretty crunchy looking. So I'd rather not risk it and then not even be able to try. I don't think these are going to work. The caps are too short on them. Well, all right, unfortunately I had to buy an entire stinking, box full of brand new plug wires, but my boys at O'Reilly's always got me hooked up, so everything is good to go. Get rid of this old rickety junk here and see what we can do. All right, well, the distributor lugs for these are a little loose, so I guess we'll find out if the distributor cap is toast too. So we'll find out. All right, we got our performance gas can right here. Get out our awesome fuel pump. Connect up our line. Oh yeah, I need to tighten that down. All right, we're good to go here. Return. All right, I think we're solid. I don't know if we've even got any. I don't even know if we've got any coolant. Check that out. Huh. Solid full of coolant, so hey, we're doing okay so far. All right, well, new plug wires. The distributor cap, some of the lugs on the cap are actually kind of loose. I don't know if you can see that or not, but try to avoid buying a cap for it right now. I think everything's good, so we'll hook up our battery, put our fuel tank all set, give it a shot, and we'll see if it runs. Hey, it kind of worked, right? It's super dirty in there. And we're getting tons of fuel in here. I think this is the map sensor here. I have to plug that thing in and just see what happens. Alright, I mean, it is working. It is spraying fuel in there. It's pretty dirty. But we're going to give it a shot and see, man, I haven't used starting fluid in a long time. It reminds me of, the smell reminds me of old snowmobiles. All right. I mean, the key is on in there, so. I don't know if you can see down in there or whatever. It's a little bit dirty, but we are getting quite a bit of fuel spraying in there. So I'm thinking right now that we have loss of spark. I think I showed you already. We've got kind of a funky distributor cap down there. Or just, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll take that apart tomorrow or something like that. It's in an awkward spot to get to. So I'll take all this stuff apart, kind of get this wiring out of the way, kind of see what's going on. I thought for sure those plug wires would solve our problem, but I guess not. All right, well, I pulled the cap and rotor off camera. You can see just how cooked this thing is. Pretty bad. Let's see if I can get it in the light for you. Yeah, this thing's shot inside of here. Pretty toasted too. There's one of them that was pretty crusty. There's one, yeah, look at those. Pretty bad. The one terminal, like right here, it's just loose. The other one's not so much, but yeah, well, this one is too. So you can kind of see in there, they just wiggle around. There you go. So this thing is toast. I've got new ones. Got a fancy new rotor right there. Quite a bit nicer. Here's the part number if you need it. And the cap right there. So pretty nice inside. Should work. None of the terminals are loose, so that's a plus. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these things in. So where it is way down in here. So it's super hard to even get my hands down in there and see what's going on. I took the wire loom off a little bit. This bolt broke right off inside of there. But there's not a lot of room, so I'm just gonna do it. There's nothing to see. Then we'll see if it starts up. Well, all right then. Got the coil, or rather the distributor cap and the plug wires and everything all ran. It seemed to me like maybe the rotor was misaligned or it got broke or something like that. The new one went on, it like snapped into a different location. So I don't know. The real ignition key is on. We got fuel flowing. Let's see what's up. Oh. Well then. Probably should have paid attention to that, huh? Stinking camera shut off. I don't know. I don't even know what you guys heard last, but I had 3 and 4 reversed. So I double checked all of that. So should be fixed now. Guess we'll just give it a try and see. Definitely sounds like she's trying. Let me get my switch. This sucks. Alright, so I got my trigger hooked up. Let's see what we can do. It's going to be a lot easier actually. We don't have a ton of gas though. Yeah. Back in the van. Sounds like a champ. Yuck. Hey, runs good. So I didn't even think about this. This thing is like wasted. But hey, when you hold it down, it works good. So this thing is rusted through on the base. I guess we could just put a brick on it. Runs good. Exhaust, I need to look underneath of it and see if this thing is like all crushed back against itself. Yeah, we might be, gotta get some fuel in here. Yeah, this exhaust might be like just collapsed, so maybe generating some back pressure. Other than that, it sounded good. Believe that we checked the oil and it was fine. So yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty good. Thing starts up and runs. I can't even believe I didn't even think about that. Saw it bobbing around. I did get rid of all the wood that was in the back. My buddy Rob now owns all of that. Here's the air cleaner. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, check for the exhaust. All right, so when the neighbor brought this thing over with the skid steer, he just picked it up. So I don't know how much damage could potentially be done down here. Unfortunately, I can't get the camera under there. It's like sitting on the ground right now. I mean, it looks all right, I guess. Whatever. We'll leave it alone for now. Worry about it later on. Thing runs good. Let's get something to sit on top of here. Just hold it down. About 3 pounds of steel should do the trick. So there we go. Problem solved. The alternator's working because it wouldn't shut off whenever I disconnected the battery lead, so that's kind of cool. Contact. Man, awesome. It runs shockingly well. And it's pretty quiet. So either the exhaust is totally like plugged up, or there's still some sort of muffler on it connected. So the alternator's charging. You know, just disconnected everything. So now the jump back isn't even on it, so I mean, that's pretty cool. Is that crushed? Is that thing supposed to be bent over like that? Yeah, it'd have to be, right? Otherwise the whole manifold would be toast. That's weird looking. Yeah, huh, I'll be doggone. Runs awesome. Oh, I just got hit by something. Thankfully, Thankfully the camera took it in the face. What was that? I'll have to look back through the... What was it? I don't know what that was. Let's figure it out though. So, yeah, just looking at that, it almost looks like it's bent over, but I guess that's just how it is. You know what I mean? It's got some funky look to it. So just, you know, at a glance, I was thinking that it got crushed. But, I mean, everything seems to be all right. I don't think that we have any brakes. I don't believe so. It looks like the pedal is... Yeah. Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, no, they're pumping up. No, they're pumping up. So, we'll have to fix the clutch. I'll put this thing up on the lift and try to get to it. All right, well, I got this old piece of junk inside. We're going to try to lift it up. The frame is borderline, so I don't even know if it'll lift up without cracking, so we're just going to have to be careful. I do want to see what that clutch slave and master and all the lines look like in there to see if we can even figure out a way to, you know, get the clutch to work. I called up the lines. There's a couple of lines, hoses rather. They're like 85 bucks a piece or something like that, and then 30 for the clutch slave, or I don't know. It would be a bunch of money, so we're gonna get it up in the air and just take a look underneath of it, see what we can see. All right, well, let's take a look underneath this thing. A little bit sketched out by potential frame rot, so let's try not to stand here too long. It's not leaking a bunch of oil, so that's good. Yeah. Anyway, brake hose is all right on this side. We'll go around. I think I saw that it was broken off over here. Look at that. Holy cow. No good. Yeah. So right there, brake hose totally disintegrated right there. So no brakes on this side. Man, it's bad. So if we go up here and look, this is the clutch slave, then the clutch master, that guy right up there. I kind of expected this line right here to be blown out, but it doesn't look like it is. So I guess, I mean, it could be like ruined anywhere. So I'll have to put some fluid in it and actually see where it's leaking out of. But yeah, this looks like it's the removable bell housing T5, which means that this transmission is a desirable transmission. So, what up? How does that happen? Cracked the bell housing. Wonder if it filled with water or something like that. Huh, that's crazy. Well, it looks pretty corroded. I don't know if I can weld that one up. We'll have to see. But yeah, removable bell housing T5. I believe that's what this is. These are relatively desirable transmissions. So worth the 200 bucks right there if it works. This brake hose or line is still good. Air quotes good. But man, she's rough. I don't know. Anyway, it's looking pretty sketch under here, 100%. But I mean, the frame isn't rotten right through, but we got some significant rusting going on. Oh, well, that's probably why it was so quiet. The exhaust is like smashed shut, so that's where he picked it up with the forklift, apparently. But it doesn't look like he snagged the drive shaft. Maybe a little bit here. Oh yeah, a little bit there. So that's bent, but we're not gonna have this thing on the road, so it doesn't matter. Oof. Oh man, metal gas tank on this truck? Huh, I thought it would have been plastic. I'm glad I didn't try to pull any fuel out of there. That's got to be a mess. So anyway, overall, she's pretty gross and just overall disgusting. So we'll lower it down, put some fluid in that brake master or clutch master, and see where it's actually leaking from. And if we can just make a hard line and get this thing to actually work a little bit, we'll just go ahead and do that. First, I'll cut this open some so it's not so starved. Like, can you believe it even ran? Look at that. There's hardly like any opening there for exhaust to get out of. Crazy. Well, I'll get to it. We'll see what happens. Well, I went to go help my buddy. It's about 11:30 at night, so I got back kind of late. Before I left, though, I did fill up this reservoir with fluid, pumped on the clutch, didn't do anything. The fluid is still at the very top, just where I left it, so no fluid is actually getting through the system. I tried to crack some of these lines loose to kind of coax some fluid down through the system, rejuvenate the parts, or at least get them working and good enough to kind of rip around the yard with you guys, but unfortunately, it's not working, and without buying parts, it's just not going to happen. I did look at buying some parts. We've got some bees up here making some noise. But I did look at buying some parts, and they're kind of expensive for an old dumpster fire like this. So I don't really think that it's worth kind of just throwing money at something like this when, you know, we don't know the condition of the clutch. And after seeing the bell housing being broken like that, I just don't want to waste any money on it that we don't have to. So as far as will it runs go, we didn't get to rip around the yard with it, but we did get the 2.5 liter running. Runs pretty good, so that was cool. I'll call it a success. That was all right. So I'm going to go ahead and shove this thing off into the weeds. Maybe someday we'll find a use for the little engine, and maybe I can fix or find a new bell housing for that little T5. Maybe we'll do something with that. Who knows? We'll have to see what the future holds. But other than that, hopefully you enjoyed yourself. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you on the next one.